Hey,
Welcome.
thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and excited to share.
I'm really happy that you're here in the midst of the Rona.
Wild times.
He's the founder of the Blackprint, and I'm going to let him go into more detail, but he is a real estate finance veteran, and he has a private investment firm with an emphasis on trading currency trends. So, Al, for everyone out there who wants to know in layman terms, what do you do for a living?
I say it simply. I buy what's going up and I sell what's going down, and so all of that manifests itself in trends. In the way that I explain it to people is intuitively when they're driving past the gas station. If I ask you right now what a gas price is doing, what would you say?
They're going down.
Right. So intuitively, you didn't have to think about it. You didn't have to pull up anything. You drive past the gas station and you know from week to week that gas prices are going down. And so the way that I explain what I do to people is if we go back, say 4 weeks and we put a data point on 1 week, what's today? Today is Tuesday. So the 4 Tuesdays in a row and we draw a line through that data, it would show the prices are going down. And so that's a price trend, that the price trend is going down. And so essentially what I do is use that data to buy and sell.
Okay, now you oversimplified this, but we're going to dive deeper.
Okay.
So I always see on Al's Instagram Forex trading.
Yeah.
So, but also, one, I wanted you to explain what exactly is Forex trading.
Okay.
And secondly, now Al is someone who I look at as a professional. He has his company, his clients and students, which we're going to get into. But then I'll be scrolling and I'll see an Instathought who one day was selling waist trainers and slimming tees. And then all of a sudden in her bio, she's a Forex trader. So can you help bridge the gap between those?
Yeah. So and of course that frustrates me. This is something I've been doing for 15 years now. And what you see, like the Forex is an entire market, right? So there are governments, multinational organizations, banks, individuals, corporations, all trading money, like bringing money back from overseas, and then whatever the commerce is locally, they're transacting, and so it's money flowing all around every single day. And right now, the Forex market is about $5 trillion a day, so it's $5 trillion a day moving around the world. And so what you see is multi-level marketing companies, which is AKA network marketing companies. Mm-hmm. And their business model, just like all the rest of the network marketing companies, is, hey, you go get 3 more people, you get 3 more people. And it's kind of this recruiting thing. And you do see some people that are trading, but what I have personally seen, and the clients that have come to me from such network marketing companies, they have no idea what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Right. And so this is a serious business, right? So we're talking about money, we're talking about finance, we're talking about trading your capital that you worked hard for. And you're trading against some of the best people in the world doing this. Right.
Right.
So they don't quite understand the risk associated with it and how to manage it. So it's not necessarily this risky thing if you know how to manage it. It's like most things. If you know what you're doing, it's not necessarily risky. So there are ways to limit that. But from what I've seen and what I've experienced is people just, they're not being educated about these things.
And that's where you come into play.
Right.
And you have a coaching arm of your business.
So the Blackprint, the new rules for winning finance, freedom, and flexibility. Essentially it's a book that I wrote almost 6 years ago, and I married that with coaching. And the reason that I did it that way, and the only people who can get the book is the people I coach.
Okay.
And because the way I saw things is that if the only reason you buy a self-help book is because you want to duplicate some of the success that the author may have had. And so what I want to do is be very intentional in action and write a book that's actionable intelligence, and then marry that with coaching to ensure that people get the success that they were looking for. So that's how that came about. And so I started coaching around that same time. And, it's been phenomenal. I've seen people grow from it. I've grown from it. And it's a freeing thing to, especially right now, it's a freeing thing for people to know that they can make, no matter what the market is doing, you can make money when it's falling. You can make it when it's going up. And, it's one of the reasons I originally got into it is because to me it's recession proof. The market's going to go up. They're going to go down. I'm personally financially not, because I know what I'm doing is I'm not going to be affected, but I'm still affected because I have to take care of family who doesn't, like who, they don't do what I do.
Right.
Yeah.
So that brings me to the big elephant in the room. Like I said earlier, you seem unfazed about what the market's doing right now. And I know offline, we had a conversation about people knew that we weren't going to be in a in a bull market we were already in it for 11 years. And markets ebb and flow, whether it was Corona or something else. So This should not have, it's a slap in the face because I guess we didn't anticipate it happening like this. But what do you say to someone who's not a student of yours, who's freaking out, which is 80% of, I would say, the world in terms of the market?
Well, so unfortunately, and there's a human toll to what's happening with Corona, and there's a human toll to every economic downturn, right? Because people stress and so forth.
Right.
But we have been expanding since 2009, right? And the Feds they pumped the money into the economy and it just took off, and it's been going ever since then. So what I tell people, and I'm honest with them, I say, you got to give to get. How long you think this thing gonna go?
Exactly.
And there's only so much. It's only so far it can go. And so if it went up, if you gain 80% or 90%, then you've got eventually the party's going to be over.
Right. And I think if people were responsible, granted, even if I was a multi-billionaire, who wants to lose? But if you've been up, like you said, since 2009 and things are pretty good, it would have to be a substantially long time for us to be in this current situation. Because right now, people should be kind of like balancing out, right? If you manage properly or you have another.
It depends. It depends because, people were hurt. There were some people who were hurt so bad in 2008 that they are, I have talked to people individually that's like, man, I'm just coming out of this. Right. And, whatever their situation was. And so, but there were a lot of people who were very prosperous, that this past run, but this is a normal economic cycle. This was the longest bull run, I want to say in history, if not the longest, one of the longest. And so I've been telling people, I think I put out a video 3 years ago. I did put out a video 3 years ago about 5 things to survive the next recession, because it's a normal economic cycle. It's easy for me to say, and it's a logical thing to me. But, when it's people's personal, when they're dealing with these things personally, logic kind of goes out the window. Well, why must we have recessions,
And it's very emotional. People
can be. Yeah, for sure.
Non-rational now. So what would you tell someone? I know some people want to hurry up and either buy at the quote unquote low stock price, or some people are really freaked out. They want to pull all their money out. They need to put our cash underneath mattresses. What's your take on the frenzy with the markets right now?
It depends on skill level, right? And it depends on kind of where you are in the spectrum of that, really, because if you've got money in the majority, and I hope when things like this happen, I hope that people take the initiative and say, you know what, I really need to learn what my 401k is. There are a lot of people that don't know what it's invested in. And then, people will say, well, the stock market is risky. Well, do you realize that your 401k is invested all in the stock market for the most part? Mm-hmm. And so I hope seeking that education happens from this kind of thing. For people that's in that space, if you don't know what to do with it next, then you probably are better to leave it, right?
Really?
And because what are you gonna when you take it out or whatever? If there are any penalties or whatever
Oh,
the
you
case,
mean leave it in there? Okay. I thought you meant like
because
leave
if
it
you
like
don't know what
I'm bouncing. No, I agree.
yeah.
Like let it stay put. I mean, this is not gonna last forever. Okay.
We hope not. And
No.
we hope we get, over this sooner than later.
Right.
But for the people who are looking to, okay, how can I buy bargains? I have two specific metrics for this, and I have not seen, I'm not seeing a lot that I'm interested in. And two metrics is one, it's public information. You can go on Yahoo Finance, you can go on finviz.com, and go on Market Watch and look to see when the officers are buying. It tells you when the officers of these public companies are buying. It tells you when they're selling, and that's public information. So, the old adage is you follow the money, right?
Right.
So you want to follow, that's one thing. And then number two is you want to, if you have not, this is a good time to learn how to read a balance sheet. And you're just going on this public information. You're just going on there and you're looking to make sure this company has cash, right? So those are my two metrics for right now for if it's time for me to buy a stock.
Okay.
Because that's going to be as objective as, somebody who's not a professional at this. That's as objective as you can get. Is the money flowing into the people who know the company?
Right. And what are they doing? So
they know the company.
That's a good point. The latter I knew, but the former, that's a good strategy.
Yeah.
So Al, what do you mean though that what you're doing is recession proof?
So whether, I guess it was about, a month and a half ago. I don't know. We were texting and we were like talking because we talked markets. Yeah. So this is not a surprise. This is not a surprise from a technical standpoint. The market had the price action, right? The prices going up and down had already gave us the go ahead that this is going to go lower, right? So that gives a person a certain level of confidence that, hey, I'm going to just follow the money. If the money is, if there's money to be made as it falls, then you do that. And then you obviously, the majority of people know that you can make it going up, but you can also make it when it's falling. And so that's why I say recession proof is because, as long as the market is moving, you're going to be able to generate income from it if you know what you're doing.
So Al, as we know, the name of this podcast is Britt Happens, which is the play on words for happens. So I know I hear all these awesome stories. I get these text messages thinking, you know what, I should have just pulled the trigger. Because just for some context, which I still want to be on Team Blackprint. But I'm very risk averse and super scary. But Al's been extremely patient with me, and he said that he'll give me maybe 6 more months to make a decision. I'm kidding. I didn't get a deadline. But anywho, can you share maybe an instance where things didn't go quite as planned, and you were like, that's a risk too much money. I'm not sure, but I want to hear where things didn't go as planned and how did you rebound and bounce back?
You mean in the markets in particular?
That's a good question. Well, maybe one time in the markets and then something else that I wouldn't know about,
in the markets that happens. We establish a plan every single week of what you're looking to do, right? But that doesn't mean that the plan is going to work out perfectly. But that's the purpose of having the plan of, hey, if it reaches this certain point, this is as much as I'm going to lose, and you move on to the next thing. That's a frequent thing. That's a normal thing. So there hasn't been anything that has shocked me in a crazy way as it relates to the markets.
Okay.
Even from the start, there hasn't been a moment. There hasn't been a moment where I was like, oh, it's just because like yourself, like I have been that's the first thing is how can I mitigate risk? How can I manage my risk? How can I know exactly how much I'm going to lose if things don't work out? And so that gives you that calmness, if you will.
Sorry to cut you off. So is that when on Sundays, I know you post all the funny dancing memes? Is that the planning period?
Yeah, that's I sent out a plan on Sunday evening. I just looking at the markets, looking at what they're doing technically, what's the structure and what the plan is for the upcoming week. And then waiting for things to materialize. That's what I spend a lot of time doing.
Okay. And then, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but in terms of other than that, I would probably say when the housing market just got crazy, seemingly overnight. I had employees. I was in a very, very aggressive growth stage with my company when all of that started to happen. And one of the things that happened that was like an old Britt moment was that the government, basically all of the traditional funding that you could get to help people finance their homes, it was just off the table. Where we could do 100% where people didn't have to put down a large down payment. It was just pretty much off the table. And the government then, I didn't have government licensing, which is called FHA. That's the Federal Housing Authority. They require that you have a certain amount of cash on hand in order to get licensing. And so from the time, also the window that it would have taken me to get that license, things would just deteriorate. Boom, boom, boom. So it was like, oh, what am I going to do? And so, it's just one of those things where you have to calm yourself down and, you start to look at partnerships that you can make and really lean on the people who supported you from the jump. And that's all you can do.
Are you still in real estate?
No, zero.
You said that before I can even finish.
Listen, I still love real estate, but there's a certain way I particularly want to play it at this point. And this is, however this may sound, I'm not the only one. So the people who bought in 2009 leading up, everybody has been, those people, whether it's commercial or residential, leading up to now have been cashing out to people who bought low.
Okay.
That makes sense. Like the people who have been buying the last couple of years have been cashing out to other people. So there's somebody, say for instance, there's somebody who bought at 100,000. They bought a house or building at 100,000.
Okay.
The price went up to 250. Somebody, I don't want to miss, and then somebody came in and bought it at 250. That person made their 150, and then so I didn't want to overpay for any real estate, so I was hands off for all this time. So now I think we're going to move into another period where it's going to make sense where, okay, I can find something for 30, 40, 50% off because otherwise I don't want to play.
Do you think you were shook from the FHA fiasco, or you just think that what you're doing now is just, you like it?
Both teach you a lesson. One that says, okay, you don't ever want to be over leveraged in anything because anything can happen at any time, right? So that's just risk management. Two, timing is very important. How you buying at the right time, buying at the right price is extremely important. And then from what I do professionally on a day-to-day basis now, the deal has to be so sweet because, I'm sitting at my laptop and I'm pressing a button and, it's work. Don't get me wrong. It's work. But for what I would have to do on a real estate transaction, the work.
The ROI is just much better with what you're doing now.
Yeah. It's got to be an amazing deal.
So Al, and I normally ask people this in the end, but I want people to look now. What's your Instagram so they can see all these cool stories?
Mr. Al Pickett, MrAlPickett. Now,
if you guys follow, there's like on the lower right-hand corner, he does the screen share, I think, with his clients. And there's these tips. I mean, you have to join the Blackprint to get all the backstory. But anyway, and I just see these numbers like a slot machine, ding, 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 ding. So that's what he's referring to in terms of he's sitting at his computer. But he's working. So for anyone that's like, oh, I retired because I'm in Forex, they probably don't know what they're doing. And you haven't even told us what Forex stands for.
Yeah, foreign exchange. Foreign exchange. And so it's foreign. And then it's interesting. I love having these conversations, just with people. I was on a call earlier and it's like, young lady, brand new this and never heard of the term foreign exchange. I was like, well, you do it every day. When you do a transaction, it flows right into the flow of money and that dollar is going somewhere. And, when you take a vacation to Europe, that euro and those transactions and the British pounds and the Japanese yen, that's foreign exchange.
That's true. So it's not as intimidating as we think.
No, it is definitely one of those things where, you see the stories of people like, oh, you just plug the numbers in and do this and do. It's not that simple. Okay. If you're looking to, what I do is teach people how to fish. And if you're looking to, it's a skill. So this is skill acquisition. This is not jackpot. You hit the lotto and every day is going to be a winning day. It just doesn't work like that. Mm-hmm. And if you're in a situation where it's seeming like that, it's just a matter of time before you're going to have some real problems.
Before you crash and burn.
Yeah.
Where are you from now?
I'm from Memphis, Tennessee originally, born and raised. Okay. And, that's home. That's home. I'm based in Houston, Texas now.
Are you an only child?
No, I have a sister, and then I've got my sister with my mother, and then I've got 4 other brothers with my dad. Cool. Yeah.
Okay. Now this is called my fire round. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you some questions. You just answer. Try not to overthink. They'll be light today. All right.
Light.
They'll be light. I mean, it's Rona. 4 or 5 o'clock. You've been working all day. All right.
Okay.
What's the last thing you bought on Amazon?
A book.
Mind sharing.
You know what? The craziest thing I've been thinking about, I haven't received it yet. I have not received it. Maybe
to check.
Yeah, I'm slipping, but I have not received the book. But I thought about it the other day. I was like, man, where is my book? And every time I get a package, I'm thinking, oh yeah, my book finally came, and it's something else. Okay. But it was just a psychological book on trading.
All right.
Yeah.
What was your biggest splurge purchase?
Oh, biggest splurge purchase? That's a good question. I don't. Biggest splurge? Yes, it's a very.
Am I putting you on blast?
No, it's not. It's not putting me on blast because everything else is. Can you call a house a?
That's a split. Come on now.
It's a legitimate question.
Let me give y'all some context, okay? See, Al, he seems like a very humble man. And sometimes when you hang out with a certain group of people, everything is relative. So someone may think expensive pair of shoes or a bag is a splurge, but Al just mentioned a piece of real estate as his splurge, which clearly the value exceeds the average Birkin. So yes, pray tell.
Okay, all right, yeah. The first thing I bought when I was 22 was a 5-bedroom house, 5-bedroom, 3-bath, and then that was for family, but it was for family too, right? It was for all of us.
That's one very generous of you, and I think that's awesome at only 22 years old. That's amazing with anyone. So yeah,
so I don't think it's anything else that I can. I'm even looking around what else?
I think that's a splurge. Okay. And generous.
All right. We'll go with that.
We're gonna go with that. What's your favorite adult beverage?
Gin and tonic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve? Oh, loud people.
Okay.
Why are you so loud? Yeah,
when you're out at a restaurant, you're out with someone and they're just loud for no reason, do you tell them?
Yes, it's just too much for me.
Is it because you're self-conscious and embarrassed, or it's just you too extra?
Yeah, well, we right here in front of each other. It was.
I agree. Okay, I just agree. All right, I was going to say, what books are you currently reading? It's the book that was supposed to come in the mail that.
The one I just finished was you know what? Actually, a client just sent me this that I haven't started yet, but it's right here. It's called Living with a Seal by Jesse Itzler. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I just got this one. I don't know if you see it. Yeah, so that's next.
What was the book? I think there was a former, maybe a mentee of yours, and she gave you a shout out in the forward or something. I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, that was Erica Williams' book. Man, I feel bad. I can't remember the name. I've got it. I've got it right here in front of
Oh,
me.
no
But
worries. I thought that was so cool. It had to make you feel like, you do all these things and obviously you like helping people, but then when you see something like that, it's like, wow, like.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I didn't know she was doing that. I didn't know she was I'm reading it, and then there was this a slip in the area where she mentioned me, and I was like, okay, we'll get to that part, and there it was. So that was shocking. It was a big surprise.
That was very nice. Okay. The 3 most influential people in your life.
Wow. Mom, dad. 3. Wow.
There's the third one in your DMs.
Huh? That threw me off.
I know. Okay, fine. Maybe it's another family member. I was trying to see who rounded out influential.
I'm trying to think. Oh, my nephew.
Really? How old is your nephew?
Yeah, he's 24. He's 24. Basically, I had a big hand in raising him from, he's 24 now. And so that started at 4.5. And so he's actually, I reference him in my book because he's a big part of my why. Mm-hmm. Right. So like why you can't give up, why you got to go to the next level. You gonna tell him, did you quit? Right.
I love when you're referencing someone who's your junior as influential, because a lot of people obviously think they have to be older. Oh, that's
really cool. You need a big why. You need huge whys of why you doing whatever you're doing.
As I said on Mr. Al Pickett, that's his Instagram. I would say 85% of it is very on brand. He does an excellent job of branding himself with what he does professionally. And then maybe every 17 posts, he'll throw in like a thirst trap or something.
What you call a thirst trap picture?
Right. He'll be traveling, and then all of a sudden there'll be like some beautiful beach, and then you'll see this like silhouette. Now, Al works out religiously. I don't blame him. He should show off the curvature and what he's doing. So, Mr. Pickett, what's the craziest DM you've ever received? Lord, now if he's talking about, if the house is a splurge, this is going to be real good.
No, I just most of the time, the thing is just if it's not business, I'm like, oh, okay, let me just keep it moving.
What's the craziest DM? So you're telling me you don't
look how you tried to switch that around. I don't know.
Okay, so it's not business. He doesn't. I think it goes under you have to accept it, right? If they don't.
Yeah, you have to accept it. Yeah. Okay. And the other side of that is, I just try to my Instagram really is for business, and so I just try to keep that way, right? And like make sure that so you understand the algorithms. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all these things have the algorithms. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just giving my secrets away here. I think every business person knows this, but on Instagram, you post the memes and things like that. They need to be on brand. They need to say something. They need to be truly you, right? Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it's serious. It is what it is. But then the Instagram algorithm, and it just promotes pictures. So, you got to throw a picture in there every now and again, right? Because people don't necessarily engage with like a business pages.
Right. Too much text. I mean, no matter how intelligent, nobody wants to see that, particularly on that platform.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got to mix it up a little bit.
Okay. Well, that was Al's response. We're going to let him ride with that. And what would you tell yourself 10 years ago, the younger Al?
Wow. 10 years ago? Man.
Because Al, you're only 37?
39. No, 39. Yeah.
Wait, you had a birthday?
Yeah, January.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Okay.
10 years ago? See, 10 years ago,
When you were on the cusp of turning 30, what would you have told yourself?
I don't know. Probably. I've been doing a good job. I think I've been doing a good job at living the way that I like to live, but probably just a little bit more adventure, you know? Yeah, probably a couple more crazy trips.
Okay.
Whereas, like, I've never been skiing. Like my buddy Mark, who will probably watch this, like he's been up in Denver for probably 2 years now, and I still haven't been to ski. Like that kind of stuff, like additional adventures outside of just laying on the beach and that kind of
shopping. Right. Not to like put the person's house on blast, but it was a nice like downstairs. They had a bar area. It was like a whole bunch of people.
Oh, maybe that was in Kentucky.
That
probably was in Kentucky.
That sounds good. Kentucky does get a little colder.
Yeah, it definitely gets cold. Yeah, okay. they get some snow. So it may have been like actually that may have been what do you call it? It may have been like Thanksgiving.
You're right, because I went to Houston then, and then there was anyway.
Yeah, that might have been Thanksgiving.
Yes, you definitely need to get your ski on. I mean, I'm a lot more grateful of things that I took for granted, like the ability to just like click a button, book a flight, and leave whenever I feel like it. So hopefully this is basically April 2020. Let's just pray. What do you think? I mean, I'm hoping by June, maybe I'm too optimistic, we'll have a new normal, because I just can't see the economy just like, I don't think it's going to even out by the summer, but we're just going to go out at your own risk. Or what are your thoughts?
This is in my lifetime, I've never seen anything like this. So this is a tough one I don't like to get into predicting, but this is a tough one to even think about, like what happens next. I do think economically it's not going to be the fastest recovery. People thinking that, things are going to be back to normal in August. I don't think that at all. I think, balance sheets, business balance sheets, personal, individual balance sheets are being tested right now, and they're going to be tested for the months coming. And so it's just going to take a little while for the norm. And we'll probably have some new norms. This social distancing thing is probably going to be something that sticks around. And then people are probably people are going to be a little bit more careful about where they party, where they get their food from, all of those different things, and how much money they spend.
Right. I feel like a lot of things that we should have been implementing anyway are now just going to be more in the forefront. So because everybody's having to face them like face to face. Even if I think for the most part everybody's impacted, right? Because just the curfews or the the quarantines, the restaurants are closed, just little things like our day to day has been impacted.
We can't go to the gym.
I know. That's why I was like, I'll be damned if I come out of here bigger than I started. I mean, I'm already eating everything, but still, we gotta. Yeah. There'll be no more thirst trapping pictures if we just keep eating the food.
There you go. So, I think all of those things are gonna change and take a little bit more time than people think, and we still don't know what this thing can morph into. We haven't reached peak yet, and I don't want to be I'm gonna tell it like it is, kind of like, so I'm not trying to make this softer than what it is. We don't know what the peak is going to be on this thing. Right. So we still got a ways to go. We're not out of the woods until we're out of the woods. That's what it comes down to.
I tend to agree. I'm just trying to be optimistic that some level will be lifted by the summer. We're definitely never, to me, going to return back to normal, but I'm open for new normal. I think there's a lot of opportunity for small business owners. I'm actually excited. It kind of helps level the playing field.
For sure.
So I don't wish bad or ill health on anyone. I think it's devastating, but I also see a lot of silver lining in this. And
and a lot of opportunities going to be online too. And you know, the thing I've been sharing with business, like small business, like this is the time where you definitely should. I was talking to my dad about this. Like he has restaurants, and it's like he was about to do a big ad spend, and he asked me what I thought, and I was like, okay, your competitors are slowing up on their marketing right now. They're reducing their budget, so that's the last thing you want to do. You know, if you're going to do anything, dial it back a little bit, but keep it going because everybody has their phone and everybody's glued to the TV. They need to eat. They need to eat something delicious. We tired of eating the food in the fridge and all of that. So
Right.
you got to keep it going, you know.
I
Somebody
think
needs
so.
what you have.
Oh, so that was your dad's restaurant, and the picture you guys took is like a red door or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute. Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was family owned or you just like that place.
Yeah.
Oh, so your whole family's entrepreneurial.
It was on my dad's side for sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Thank you again, Al. Again, you can find him online, obviously just by Googling, but again, can you give your social media information, please?
Thank you all for taking the time to listen, and feel free to reach out. My Instagram, Twitter, all of that is Mr. Al Pickett, MrAlPickett.
And Twitter, Facebook, same
Twitter,
thing.
Yep. You can find me just using that.
Okay. Thanks again, Al. Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. All right. Get your happy hour on.